There's a gorge, there's a guy, there's a girl. Don't talk to her. A romance horror. It's a very interesting film, though.
It is a very interesting film. So this is The Gorge. Do you know that Apple TV, they bought it in a bidding war and they paid 7 figures to get the rights to the script? You didn't feel like you were watching a horror. You're just like...
Well, I don't know. I was just like, what is that? Oh my gosh, what is that? What is that? What is that?
Genre-bending film. So you've got romance, you've got action, you've got fantasy. It's a love story that explores redemption through violence.
Because he was quite disciplined.
Yeah. He was like, we can't speak. And she was like, it's my birthday. I'll do it.
Oh, happy birthday. Can we finish now? Like, I want to see the film. I want to see the film where he goes down and she's like...
Credits roll.
says-
1949. Wow. Okay, yeah.
She looks good for her age. Can we just turn that around? She actually looks very good for her age.
Like the gorge has been open since the end of World War II.
That's why.
Why haven't they come out? Yeah, anyway. What is up?
How are you doing?
This is the movie show.
On Active TV.
My name is Sash.
I'm Ryan.
And we are reviewing a film today.
A romance horror. It's a very interesting film, though.
It is a very interesting film. So this is The Gorge, an Apple TV film. There's a list of scripts, like the best scripts that have never been made. So this film was part of that. But the amount of people in Hollywood that wanted to make this film was apparently insane. Do you know that Apple TV, they bought it in a bidding war and they paid 7 figures to get the rights to the script? But it was very cool. Like I watching it, I was like, this is very refreshing because it didn't feel like a remake. It didn't feel like something that had been done, but it was like, it was nice. It was fresh. There's still like unanswered questions.
Lots.
In terms of genre, right? I thought it was going to be a horror. When you first saw did you see the trailer? No.
I think so.
When you saw the trailer, what were you expecting? Because I was expecting horror.
No, I didn't see the trailer. I think I just saw so if you Google it, you just see the front cover.
Yeah.
You know, the creatives. I was just like, oh, okay. Guy, girl, look like action figures. You're like, yeah, I'm sure they're going to fall in love and stuff.
Okay, this is... So in my mind, it was a horror because when you watch the trailer, like they really like... The horror...
So they put a point on it.
But also the director, he often makes horror films. So if you look at his other films, which was clever. But then I didn't expect so they obviously show how the two of them get to know each other from across the gorge. So you kind of expect, okay, something's probably going to happen here. But like, I didn't think the love story would be that of a main theme. Because it was quite a main theme.
So there's one of the setup questions because it's like, there's a gorge, there's a guy, there's a girl. Don't talk to her. And sit and do nothing by yourself all day for a year, right? It's a year.
Yeah.
It's like they're going to talk to each other. Like
technically, she was the one that started.
Because he was quite disciplined.
Yeah. He was like, we can't speak. Then she was like, it's my birthday. I'll do it.
Oh, happy birthday. Can we finish now?
So this film is actually described as a genre-bending film. So you've got romance, you've got action, you've got fantasy, which was a big element. That's why I think like there's so many unanswered questions because it really dives into like, especially when they go inside the gorge, it's fantasy. Like things don't necessarily have to make sense. Like that's how like fantasy works. And then obviously intense suspense. There were a lot of sequences where even though it's not a horror, they utilized horror tactics and like the shots that they used, the timing, the pacing.
And like the creatures coming out.
Yeah. But I didn't feel like you were watching a horror. You're just like...
Well, I don't know. I was just like, what is that? Oh my gosh, what is that? What is that? What is that?
It's very clever though.
It's got a head.
The spiders were weird with their skull. That was...
It's not even an alien.
No.
That's what makes it crazy.
Yeah.
So I felt Maze Runner vibes, except that Maze Runner. Oh, that was also man-made, was it?
Yeah, it was
all those
man-made.
funny things. Okay, all right. So I guess Maze Runner vibes. There you go.
But it was a little bit different because
you kind of like something out of hell, but it's man-made. Yeah, crazy. Anyway,
how was that thing? You know, where there was that one scene. This is where the fantasy thing comes in. Like, you don't really know what it is. They were walking through that yellow goo, but the yellow goo had faces and breathed. And then
those are all the soldiers that they were experimenting on. There were lots of them.
Yeah, shame.
And they all melted or something.
Shame.
Or gooed together.
Do you remember the film The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt?
I think so. Rings a bell.
It was one where they were also fighting aliens, but there was, I can't remember exactly, like the storyline is vague in my mind, but I think I don't know if they were time traveling or I can't remember. I think it was time travel because that's why it's called The Tomorrow War.
Yeah.
It was the same writer. So the writer that did Tomorrow War wrote this one, and then the director was Scott Derrickson, who did Doctor Strange 2016, and then a film called The Black Phone 2021.
There was another horror film that he did as well. I can't remember which one.
His horror films look like
actually lived in the images themselves, and that they were gateways into his realm.
And I feel like this was your type of so the love story, right, is described as it's a love story that explores redemption through violence. Love story around death and destruction.
Yeah, but except that she had to save him. Usually it's the other way around, isn't it?
But then he had to save her.
So she wasn't but at first he like
yeah, shame.
And she was like brave enough. She's like, fine, I'll go save him.
You're like, no!
I'm like, yep, there she goes. They're gonna die.
Do you know, I think there was a different ending because when I was doing research,
Serious?
I think there was a version of the script where one of them died.
That's nice. I like that. I want to see that version.
No, I'm happy with the version we got.
It just makes so much sense. Like, I want to see the film. I want to see the film where he goes down and she's like,
credits roll. Wow. In the gorge parts was very cool. Like and also what they did with the gorge, there was no CG. So what they did was they built sets, and then like the color difference was also cool. Like they went from purple to like the yellow, but they had these big LED screens that they used, and then obviously like the smoke and all of that. So that was all built on sound stages, which was very cool. And I think that was also nice, was the film had such different like visually they were like, so obviously there was the start of the film. Then there was them spending their time alone in isolation across from one another. Then there was, okay, now they've gotten to know one another. Then there was in the gorge, and obviously that was completely different visually. And then the end of the film was also like completely, so yeah, from a visual perspective, it was quite nice. But I thoroughly enjoyed the scene, the montage scene. It's not really a montage, but where they're getting to know one another.
Right.
Like the way they did that was very, very cool. And also what's cool is, so there's a scene, they obviously play chess. So from across from one another.
That's crazy.
Now what's cool about that is that's a nod. So Anya Taylor-Joy, who's the main female, she plays.
Has she ever played a role like this before?
She was Furiosa, right? She's done lots of action roles.
Oh, that's right.
In fact, she almost didn't take this role.
I've always just kind of seen her as the...
No, she almost didn't take this role because she was busy with Furiosa.
Oh, serious?
Then she read the script and then she was like, no, I'm going to do it. But she was also in the series The Queen's Gambit, which was the whole series was about this chess master. She was a genius. And then she plays chess. But now obviously they're playing chess, so that like nods back to that role. And then there's the scene I loved where they played the drums. So they were playing the drums. Now, Miles Teller was in a film called Whiplash, which I actually have been wanting to watch. It's apparently a very, very good film. And that film is all about drummers. So they nodded to his previous role there. Yeah. So nice. Sigourney Weaver.
Who's Sigourney Weaver?
She was, so you know in Avatar, the first Avatar, she's also done Alien.
Oh, yes.
She was in the film, right?
Was she one of the faces down there?
No.
No. She was that chick, that woman.
Yes. I suppose, how old is she?
She's been, eh?
She has been.
Yeah, she's been.
She did Ghostbusters.
She was born October the 8th.
Uh-huh.
So on October the 8th. Is that right? It says
1949. Wow. Okay, yeah.
She looks good for her age. Can we just turn that around? She actually looks very good for her age.
She's 70?
So
76. Okay, yeah, shame. She does look good for her age.
Island in the sun. Building walls need to run to an island in the sun. To an island in the sun. Everyone's chasing my reputation, burns my creation. Press on the gas, going fast, cause we're running out of time.
My one question was, why did the Hollow Men, the first time that they came up, was why did they come up? Was it because of the noise? Because obviously they were shooting the guns and all of that and music was playing. But then later on in the film, it's not like they remained quiet. It's like she still played music. They still shot gun. They were still gunshots. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like...
My theory is that they were evolving. So maybe, at first they couldn't do much, and then as those things were evolving and growing legs and all sorts of stuff, eventually now they started. It's like have a spider crawling to your house, right? And they'll sit in the corner, then they'll have eggs, and then all those little babies are going to come.
Yeah, eventually.
That's just my theory. They didn't give us an answer. But isn't it crazy how they just left those questions there?
Yeah.
They just leave the holes. They just guys.
And they want I feel that's why I feel like it was intentional. There were unanswered
Like they should have
questions.
just nuked the gorge in the first place, That's what I was thinking. Why don't they just nuke it?
Because they wanted to build super soldiers.
Yeah, but it wasn't working out.
Yeah, but
They sent people to protect it. Why?
no, they didn't send people to protect it.
Those two.
They sent them to keep it covered.
Keep an eye.
Yes. Keep an eye
Yeah.
so we can do research.
But in the end,
They didn't.
yeah, I know that, but
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It's like mankind does crazy things.
I feel like movies make scientists look like crazy people because it's always the scientists that are experimenting and then they're like, no, don't blow it up.
Okay.
We just want to do some samples.
So next one, why could they not communicate with each other?
Because the less they knew, the better.
And how do they know that they're not talking to each other? Because it's like like I said, it's an obvious thing. Like there's someone else there. You're gonna be here. You guys are gonna be for a whole year. Don't talk. It's like
I think maybe the two people had communicated, but they never wanted to. What was crazy though was the fact that they killed him after that.
Yeah.
Like when the guy that trained him left, I was just like, they're gonna kill this guy. And then then thank you for your service. Like, yep, there we go. Then they kill. I was like, and then later on he said that we're expendable. That's why I have no ties. No one's gonna miss me if I leave. It's quite crazy.
that's like if you're a foreign, like if you're someone who's in a country, a foreigner in a country, and I remember. I think it was a Mr. Bean scene. And the guy's still like, so you're here, you're a foreigner. Yeah. So do you have any family here? No. Do you have anybody expecting back home? Nobody. I'm completely alone. Completely. And I think, yes, that's right. He was someone who was looking for a heart. So he was like, okay.
Go, great.
Follow me, please. Come here.
Yeah, guys, just have family and friends. Forgive your family and friends.
Make friends.
So that you don't get sent off to
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a very good film.
Yeah.
Very, very good film.
Crazy.
Obviously, the acting was crazy. Stunts were crazy. Camera work was very cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely go and watch The Gorge.
Do you think there will be any...
Sequel? No, they mustn't make a sequel.
It would be very nice if there's a sequel. Maybe they can answer
No, they must leave it. It's like Inception. We don't know if it was still spinning or if it stopped. They must just leave it there. We don't need to know. Everyone can decide for themselves, you know.
But Inception, it was a fulfilling. This one I didn't. It was just like
it all blew up anyway, right? Why do you need to know?
Yeah.
Like they moved on with their life. They're happy now. They're working at a restaurant.
Maybe there's more gorgeous.
Makes you think about next time you go to a restaurant and see the waitress. You're like,
Are you wanted somewhere?
Why are you here? So what ifs? I don't know if I wanted to change. Like, what if?
What if?
What if there was a cure? But did we want a cure?
It's too late.
It's too. Yeah.
What if we watch the other ending?
Oh, what if we watched the other ending? Ryan would have been happy. I would not have been happy.
Those did not look like super soldiers.
Yeah, they didn't. They looked like it was weird with the plants and the snake coming out and
the faces. But it just looks like a mess. How many of you guys have tried to, when you try and have a sunny side up egg and you're trying to keep the egg yolk and then it just...
Do you think they should have let the Hollow Man be intelligent? Because I feel like their intelligence served no purpose.
Yeah.
Like they were intelligently dumb. Because like if they were intelligent, why the gorge has been open since the end of World War II. Why haven't they come out?
That's what I'm saying. It looks like a mess.
Yeah. They should have not made them intelligent.
They should have just...
Unless like animals have like instincts, like predatorial instincts, where like they know how to lure prey out, but like they're not gonna go and become president type of thing. Do you understand? Like there's a level of intelligence, but it's not like, so maybe they were just at that like predatorial level. Yeah, anyway, they made it out. And they played drums and they played chess.
And they fell in love.
And they fell in love.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The end.